फ्रेंड्स, बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट बीपीएससी एसेस। दोस्तों, मैंने फिर आपसे बताया है, गुजारिश मेरी ये है कि प्लीज़ ये एक ऐसा सेगमेंट है जिसमें बहुत अच्छे नंबर भी मिलते हैं और बहुत बुरे नंबर भी मिलते हैं। तो बियर विथ मी, अगर हो सके तो कोर्स से जुड़िए, राइट। आज हम लोग जो टॉपिक डिस्कस करेंगे, दिस टॉपिक इज ऑफ वेरी वेरी वाइटल इंपॉर्टेंस। हाउ द वर्ल्ड इज सिटिंग ऑन अ टिंडर बॉक्स। टिंडर बॉक्स का मतलब होता है बारूद के ढेर। एट लीस्ट देर आर सर्टेन फ्लैश पॉइंट्स। इंट्रोडक्शन। Albert Einstein once said, I do not know about the Second World War, but the war after that will be fought with stones. You can begin your essay with this statement, Albert Einstein. At least there are 3 to 4 hotspots in the present global situation which can very easily escalate in dimension to the level of a world war. The Russia-Ukraine war, which has been going on for quite some time, and on and off, it threatens to boomerang into a theater of large-scale bloodshed. Similar is the scenario in Middle East, where the frequent pogroms of Israel against the Palestinians, specifically the Hamas and the Shiite rebels like the Hezbollah, the Houthis, etc., are ever threatening to increase the intensity and scale of human bloodshed. Then there is the ever looming danger of Uncle Sam playing macho in Iran, and the aggressive histrionics of the religious leader of Iran, that is Ayatollah Khomeini. And all these things can escalate to a world war. Lastly, the American action in Venezuela, undermining the United Nations Charter of the sovereign status of nations to maintain international peace and security, just and friendly relations among the nations of the world, settlement of international disputes by peaceful arbitration, respect to international laws and treaty obligations. The cornerstone of UN Declaration has been severely undermined in the case of Venezuela, and as Uncle Sam and Donald Duck go on adopting one aggressive posture after another, the very principles that determined the sovereign rights of nations have been undermined. अब आइए मेन बॉडी पे. इन द मेन बॉडी we find that the United States under Donald Trump has adopted a radically different domestic and international policy than has been the traditional policy of the United States of America. In an era where the hungry, the homeless, the deprived and the destitute need food, and American cooperation in wiping out hunger and malnutrition from the globe, the US administration had done the callous and inhuman act of pulling out United States of America from the World Health Organization. The United States of America is once again in the process of withdrawing from UNESCO, and thus the vast American funds for a better cultural and educational promotion of the global community will be deprived, because the USA is literally in the process of pulling out from UNESCO. In an age where climate hazards, climate skewness, global warming, greenhouse gas emissions, they are literally playing havoc, resulting in massive natural disasters, rising of sea level, greater air, water pollution. The US, as the greatest polluter of mankind, has taken the irresponsible and the unkind step of withdrawing from the climate control fora. United Nations framework on climate change sees that the USA withdraws from it. Also, the US has literally unpledged the finances and the funds to help about in the climate control methods and measures. Coming to the question of immigrants, let it not be forgotten that the United States of America was built by immigrants. It started with the Pilgrim Fathers and has continued down the centuries. People of diverse races, color, creed and ethnicity have made the United States a potpourri, a burning cauldron of cultures and civilization. The recent policies of the United States of America with its inhuman immigration laws, the strict restrictions on H-1B visa are threatening this very ethos, this very liberality of a human and ever open US, a land of opportunities and El Dorado of opportunities. Diplomatically, the situation has taken a very arcane and bizarre turn. We have the strange spectre of the United States of America pitted against its NATO allies in Greenland. A defense pact which has stood the test of time for over 75 years is now under severe strain due to the brinkmanship of United States of America, its bellicose and aggressive policies, etc., etc. The UN is increasingly ditching its traditional allies. It is no more standing true to its long-time partners in international affairs and diplomacy. The US administration gives the impression of being crassly opportunist. Even the United States extension of security and territorial integrity of Taiwan in the face of mainland China attack is being questioned. Add to this the complex role of the American president himself. At times he appears a peacemaker and he brokered the peace between Georgia and Azerbaijan. At times he appears a war maverick and he aggressively roots for obliterating and attacking Iran. He is even more threatening in the Hamas affairs. Trump's complex forays in international diplomacy is endangered by the fact that he is a greedy and capricious statesman. He wants the mineral and the oil of Greenland. He wants the resources of Canada. He wants the petrocrude of Venezuela. He wants to bludgeon India into submission in face of the import of Russian crude. All these have changed the face of international diplomacy. And age-old necessities no longer hold relevance today. अब आइए conclusion. The world has not only undergone cataclysmic technological changes, the world is increasingly facing the specter of its obliteration. The increasing prospects of traditional warfare threatening to go nuclear, the callous and criminal disregard for the norms of decency, necessity, etc., and the criminal disregard of the rich nations towards the poverty, the hunger, the destitution, the deprivation, and the unequal global order have all made our world a very unsafe place. And it is not a misnomer to say that the world today is sitting on the top of a global tinder box. विश्व आज एक बारूद के ढेर पर बैठा है. With this, friends, I, Rajiv Ranjan, on behalf of Maadhavi classes, thank you for the session. Have a nice time. My best of wishes. देखिए बीपीएससी एसएस के लिए प्लीज़ अगर इंग्लिश मीडियम के आप हैं तो एनरोल कर लीजिए, आपका फ़ायदा होगा. मैं ये पहले बता रहा हूँ, है ना. आपने ऐसे का क्वालिटी, कैलिबर और टिम्बर तीनों देख लिया. अब इट इज़ फॉर यू